Hey guys, it's EJArendee. I'm going to talk about challenges that I've had to face as an extroverted sensor. Okay, so I'm an ESTP. I've got extroverted sensing as my primary function. There's some things I've had to deal with. The first one is when I was young, I learned by trial and error. I still do. A lot of people don't understand learning by trial and error. They look at you and it pisses them off, and they get frustrated with your behavior, and they yell at you. I get yelled at a lot. I get yelled at for everything. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't. No. Stop. No. 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 You know, it's just constant. I like to walk around people's houses, and I'll pick up other things and be like, what's that? Oh, what's this? Oh, that. I'm sure you've met somebody like this before. And you're kind of like, don't touch that. It's, you know, I had an ESFP. I had several ESFP friends. They'd be in my house doing the same thing. I'd be like, don't touch that. It's gentle. And I would just pick it up like this, and I'd look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. And I'd take it and I put it down. But I'm very gentle. I'm very in control. I look very gusty and very, you know, I'll pick up something and kind of move it really fast. I'll pick up something and kind of look at it really quickly and then put it back down. But I'm very in control of all the physics involved. And in fact, these ESFPs who come in here to my house and touch all my, you know, I used to play Warhammer, so I'd have a bunch of models lying around. They come in, they touch all my models, and I'd be like, don't touch those. Oddly enough, these were also the people who've never broken any of my things. The only people I can trust to not break my shit, which is kind of funny. Most of the people who break my shit are intuitives. They're like, "Can I borrow this?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." And then it's fucking broken the next few days. I'm like, "God fucking damn." Ugh. My brother's an INTP, and we always make fun of him. We say that he has the touch of break, where you hold a model like, and it just spontaneously shatters for no reason. It's other than the fact that he's holding it. So we. This is something a lot of people don't understand. I get yelled at a lot for this. Job hopping. I don't know what something is like until I experience it firsthand. I don't know what women are like. I don't know what jobs are like. So I job hop. I'm not very committed to women. I'll go on a few dates and then I won't really, you know, and I try to judge them as soon as possible. That's what I like to do. That's what I want to do. Is I want to be able to just take them out on a date and judge them, decide if they're fucking worthless, if they're of my interest or not, and then that be it. But they always have a problem with this. They're like, "Oh, but we went on a date." And I'm like, "Well, look, I just wanted to experience you and see what your type is. I didn't think it was about you. I think it was more about me not knowing anything about women. That's why we dated." So stuff like that. Same goes with jobs. Okay. So that's an unfortunate thing. That's not going to change anytime soon. That's just something I have to deal with. I need to get out there and experience different people. So different people, different jobs. I'm not going to know what it's like to work at McDonald's until I work at McDonald's. I'm not going to know what it's like to be a mechanic until I work as a mechanic. I'm not going to know what it's like to be a trucker until I work as a trucker. I joined the military. I didn't know anything about the military. I didn't know what it was like. So I joined the military, and now I know exactly what it's like, and I know that it's not for me. What's the other thing? Trial and error. People think I'm stupid because extroverted sensing is not a very cerebral function. It's kind of caveman-like, kind of animalistic, and so we're not known. We don't look. We look like extroverted sensors, and extroverted sensors don't talk about intuitive things. So this is why extroverted sensors don't look as smart as intuitives. Okay? It's because our interests are not in the theoretical. That doesn't mean we're stupid. It just means our interests are not in the theoretical. Does that make sense? So I still have an interest in the theoretical because I am learning to balance myself out. And there's a lot of things I do, part of my introversion. I'm not going to even explain that. But I'm focusing, learning about different aspects of myself that I ordinarily wouldn't focus much on. You know, if I wanted to do everything my way, I would be playing video games, you know, one night stands, getting drunk, doing drugs, extreme sports, and not working, and just living off of debt. That's what I would do. But you know what? Life's not that way. So there are other things you gotta focus on sometimes. So let's see. The another issue. This was brought to my attention. This is the last one that I'll go into. This is brought to my attention. Well, actually, step back. Introvert intuition. Very weak introvert intuition. My INTJ brother and my mother, they're always very good at building things. My mom builds doll houses, very intricate. My brother would build crazy Lego set pieces, crazy Warhammer scenery, and I would always try to do the same thing, but it would never quite it was never as good. It was always like, they were always really small. My pieces were always really small because it was almost a measure of my introvert intuition. It's like, I'm really fucking tiny. My ability to foresee something is really small, so my Warhammer piece will be this big. It'll be a bunker. It's very easy to understand. While he would have this like crane in this junkyard with cars and like gravel and little signs posted with little orc or hard hats, you know, on the ground, covered in bullet holes, stuff like that. With it was very in depth, well thought out set pieces that were big and very detailed and impressive. I never had that ability, and this also makes me look really stupid in a way. Mostly a lot of the problems I have is looking stupid, looking dumber than I actually am. Let's see. The the final thing I want to go over was one of my viewers sent me a message that it sort of implied that they looked at my extroverted sensing video and they applied those methods, how to experience extroverted sensing, and they applied those methods, and then they realized, oh my gosh, when I use extroverted sensing, I feel trapped. I feel claustrophobic, like trapped in this room. I feel caged in. How do you deal with it? And I was like, oh my God, you're right. I always feel trapped. I don't even realize it anymore because it's just a way of life. I don't even realize it. I just feel trapped at all times. This is why some of my fantasies, I fantasize about experiencing zero gravity and weightlessness. Okay, it's a freedom. It's like absolute freedom from the senses. I don't have to feel the weight of my body anymore. I feel weightless. It's nice. It's easy. It's relaxing. Things like that. And when you're floating in outer space, there is infinite freedom around you. I mean, there's a giant planet right there when you look at Earth, but over here there's infinity. So Earth is kind of obtrusive. It's in my way. It's floating there, and it's fucking blocking my freedom. And the thing is, you can never get enough. I can never get enough open space. This is something I actually read in socionics as well. I can never get enough open space. My dream house is extremely open, has no walls, the wind is blowing through. There's a lot of glass. There's a lot of glass, stuff like that, so I can see everything. When I'm in a shop, like when I'm in like Subway with my friend, I'll sit with my back against the wall so I can see everything. Because if I face against the wall, it feels like this is what it feels like. It feels like somebody is just doing this to me. And I'm like, there's a wall there. There's nothing. It feels like somebody's putting their hands over my eyes. I can sense the wall. I'm just like, oh, I hate, get this wall out of the way. It's like that scene in Office Space where he like just pushes down the wall of the cubicle, and he's like, all right, like that's me. There's no limit to how much space I can get. I was in this crowded cafeteria at school, and I would just, at one point, I started to feel autistic. Like I start to feel like this. Like this is what I start to feel like. Because people are throwing. I hate cafeterias. People are throwing shit at each other. There's food flying through the air. Everything is fucking wet. It's disgusting. And so I'm sitting there like this, and I feel all the wetness, and I touch something that's wet. There's condensation. There's spilled vinegar. Someone's fucking mucus is over. That pile of shit could be mucus for all I know. I have no fucking clue. It's disgusting. And so I just I start to feel autistic. And at one point, I put my arms around my plate. I have this much space to eat at the Naval Academy. We're all sitting shoulder to shoulder, back to back, because it's completely crammed in there. And so I'm sitting there, and I put my hands around my plate like this, and then I just went like this. At one point, I just got so fed up with it, I was just like this. And I just pushed everyone's shit like off the table. I mean, it was inconsequential things that fell off the table, like forks and knives and stuff like that. But for the most part, I was just clearing the space. And then when I eat my burrito, I would like put my elbow up in this person's face, and then when I grab my fork, I put this elbow up in this person's face. And in a way, and then I'd eat like this, and, milk, and I put it as far away from me as possible. I'd put it in his face. And this is kind of also a joke that I do is when I mess with other people's shit, when I get up in other people's space and be really intrusive as a joke. Like, I'd put my milk, like, on my friend's plate, and I'd borrow my friend's napkin, and just, have this very wide area. That's kind of one of the things I do to joke. I never have enough space. I always feel cramped, but I have just learned to tune it out. And it's also kind of challenging to live it's sort of a challenge to me to live in as cramped a space as possible. I'll have all my shit stacked against the walls. My older videos where the walls were just white and there's like a window there, that's when I first moved to Colorado. I just had all my stuff in boxes stacked up against the walls, and I had this little hole in the boxes with a bed, and there's a path to exit my room and go to the bathroom. That was my room, and I was perfectly comfortable living in that, and I more or less live in that. I like studios because of that. It's like a challenge to me to live in as small an area of space as possible. So it's like I'm rebelling against my own desire for space. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I need a lot of space. And one day when I have enough money, I can let go of this. I can let go of this ridiculous, cramped lifestyle that I've been living for the last 20 years of my life. I feel like I'm caged. I feel like an animal caged up, and it's my own prison of my own doing. But it costs money. Space costs money, so I need more money so I can have more space. That's it. That's why I love hiking. That's why I love expeditions, stuff like that. I like to be freed from the senses. So that's a video of me and some of the challenges I face. One more thing. People thought I was really stupid in like elementary school, but at the same time, I have a photographic memory, and I can remember everything everyone does for the last like 5 or 6 months. I was number one in 3rd grade. I was put on my own spelling list because I was so good. I was the best speller in 3rd grade. The teacher was like surprised. She thought I was like some like genius savant. I was put in LD classes because people thought I was stupid. But at the same time, I was in tag math. I was in talented and gifted math. So I was kind of like, my mom told me I'm sort of like Rain Man, which, thanks, Mom, I guess. So that's challenges that I face as an extroverted sensor, is this need that I've had to sort of overcome and cope with, this need for more space, this need for more more of everything, more space, more of what I want, just stuff like that. I've had to cope with that and say, nope, you don't need any of that. You're just going to have to get used to what you have. And so that's sort of something I've had to deal with. So anyway, that's it. This video has gone long enough. I hope that shared some insight as to challenges that an extroverted sensor faces. So, see you later.